Our reading this morning is entitled Praise the Mutilated World, in honor of our ministry theme this month, which is praise. Try to praise the mutilated world. Remember June's long days and wild strawberries, drops of rosé wine, the nettles that methodically overgrow the abandoned homesteads of exiles. You must praise the mutilated world. You watched the stylish yachts and ships. One of them had a long trip ahead of it, while salty oblivion awaited others. You've seen the refugees going nowhere. You've heard the executioners sing joyfully. You should praise the mutilated world. Remember the moments when we were together in a white room and the curtain fluttered. Return in thought to the concert where the music flared. You gathered acorns in the park in autumn, and leaves eddied over the earth's scars. Praise the mutilated world, and the gray feather a thrush lost, and the gentle light that strays and vanishes and returns. We're returning. Isn't it great? People everywhere are talking about how wonderful this time of returning from the pandemic is. We hear how they've longed for connection and face-to-face time and hugs with their family and friends and loved ones. I hear it multiple times a day, and I agree. I agree. And I was not a fast returner. I was not a fast, jubilant returner. I was, and to some degree still am, a bumbling returner. Last Friday was a good example. I had decided to go to church in person for the day. It was the first time I had done that in over a year.
and I bumbled, even before I got out of the house. I had trouble making my lunch. I couldn't find enough food or where my fork was. I then realized I actually needed to shower before my first meeting and that I had built no travel time into my schedule. I kept asking myself, how did I do this before? It just all seemed a bit too much. And then I got to church only to realize I had forgotten my lunch that I made so diligently. I was freezing cold in my office because the heat was not set to me being there. The internet was unstable as I tried to log on to my first Zoom meeting. There was nothing on my desk to elevate my computer to the proper Zoom height. I had to put hymnals underneath of it. But most of all, and those who were with me on that first Zoom call know, I missed Plum Island Roasters and my daughter, both of whom were here the last time that I had a full day in the office. So you see, just as it took me time to reorientate or orientate when the pandemic took hold last March, and it did, it also is taking me time to transition out of the pandemic, though it's getting easier every day. Like you, over the last year, we are resilient. Human beings are resilient. I developed rituals and routines and a way of living I came to love and appreciate, even as I longed for and missed our pre-pandemic world. And I know I'm not alone. There are people who are fearful of losing the things they've come to love. I'm connecting with people, for example, who I hadn't talked to or connected with in years, regularly on Zoom. We're living right now in what I call communal liminality. The world as we knew it before the pandemic took hold is over. We aren't returning to that world. That world is no more. And the world that is yet to come isn't here completely yet. We know it will be different than it was before the pandemic, though we're not exactly sure how quite yet. We're living in this in-between time, what sociologists and theologists call liminality. It exemplifies the Buddhist teachings of impermanence. It is a scary, vulnerable, and exciting season, full of possibilities, if we give it the space it deserves. That's the thing. This isn't a time or a space that will offer its bounty to us if we try to bypass it, go around it, ignore it. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season. Turn, turn, turn. A time for peace, I swear, it's not too late. Unitarian Universalist Pete Seeger wrote that song in the late 1950s in all of 15 minutes as a response to a heated exchange he had had with his publisher. And it was subsequently sung by several artists, including Judy Collins, whose rendition Justin played just a moment ago, and the Byrds, who sang it in 1965 when the United States was beginning to divide over the Vietnam War. It is one of the few songs that includes a biblical text in its entirety, in this case from the book of Ecclesiastes. The only thing that Seeger added were the opening words, turn, turn, turn. And the closing lyric, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. How apropos for these times. It turns out I'm not the only one who is a bit disoriented right now. Several of you mentioned to me Adam Grant's recent column in the New York Times, in which he wrote about this time that we are in. His column focused on a mental state of languishing, in which a person is not depressed, but not happy, not burnt out, but certainly not energized. He describes feeling somewhat joyless and aimless, with dulled motivation and difficulty concentrating. Similar to how we often feel during times of liminality, transition, change. So what do we do when we find ourselves or someone we love living in this state of being? One thing we can do is we can make a pact with ourselves to be kind to ourselves and to others, to be honest, and to be patient. We can realize that whatever we're feeling, it's okay, and not assume that everyone else is experiencing this time the way we are. We can pause. We can name our experience and what is happening. Try not to leap over it. And remind ourselves that everything is going to be okay. Let me say that again. Everything is going to be okay. If you're afraid, if you're ecstatic, if you're some combination of both, if you're confused, if you're languishing, it's okay. You're not alone. Everything is going to be okay. And this isn't the place of arrival either. After pausing, we could take stock. We could think back about what have we learned over this pandemic? What have we learned about ourselves and life? What have we learned about what matters? What new things have we discovered about ourselves, or what was reinforced? Let's make note of those things. Despite all the challenges, there have been many gifts of this time, and we have the right to claim them and make them our own. We don't have to just rush headlong back into trying to be the way it was. We have agency. So ask yourself, what do I not want to return to? In terms of activities or ways of being, what do I want to be sure to continue? For example, I realized I don't like night meetings. I don't do well being on my devices past 7:30 or 8 o'clock. I much prefer reading, being with my partner, and even watching our newly discovered sitcom. I adore walking outside, and not just to and from the church parking lot and my car to inside the church. Good work happens walking outside. I need to spend significant time doing my spiritual practices. I take great note of the fact that as the world was forced to slow down and move inside, real and great advancements happened in issues of justice. So it wasn't just do more, faster, together, all the time we have problems. Isn't that interesting? We all realized we can have church online and in person, which we will continue doing. We're committed to that, not only on Sundays, but all of our programming. And we're going to be spending the time, and already have begun, figuring out how that is. How is that going to be, having this hybrid church, and how exciting that parents can come to board meetings and members like today can join who live in other states. And we can be together in person at the same time. When reflecting over the past year, you're likely going to discover things that you regret as well. Maybe things you didn't do. Maybe you didn't finish that novel or organize all your old photographs. Your regrets may also include things that you did and didn't intend to do. Perhaps you gained some weight, became a little more solitary. Maybe you were cranky with your housemates. Everything is going to be okay. Forgive yourself and others for the things they did and didn't do. We're all human. It was a difficult time. After pausing and taking stock, then we can actually commit to new habits and a frame of mind or a value that will guide our way, not only through this transitionary time, but beyond. Fortunately, none of us need to do this alone, for we're all part of this beloved church community, and we can turn to one another. I'll share just a few things that perhaps can support you in this journey. Exploring Elderhood just finished a wonderful series that was focused on grief post-pandemic. It's an amazing group open to all who want to join of any age, and they explore important, good, real topics all the time. Member Wendy Ford wrote a book entitled Normalcy. She wrote it a while back, and it's the story of her husband's battle with cancer and how they, as a couple and a family, got through it and what she learned. One of the things they did was they made a commitment to a state of mind that they were going to hold throughout the whole experience. For them, it was normalcy. But that's what they returned to over and over as they were facing decisions. What's yours as we move through this time? Normalcy is a beautiful book full of gems, especially for this time. And Wendy has made this book available as a gift to anyone in the congregation online. We have a link being put into the chat now. It'll also be in the next steeple this coming Wednesday. I'm also offering a 2-part online gathering, more of a worship service, an introspective time, this Friday and next from 5 to 6 p.m. During that time, we'll be doing some of the things that I'm describing, pausing, taking stock, committing to what we want to carry forward. And you won't be sharing anything with anyone. It's really a time that we'll create for each other but ourselves. Again, there should be a link in the chat, and it will be in the steeple. In his column about reentry, Grant recommends we use this term, languishing. He suggests that when people ask how you are, instead of saying, oh, fine, oh, good, oh, great, 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 how about saying, I'm languishing? Or we could say, I'm living in liminality. Or I'm in transition. The more I reflect on the importance of how we make our way through this transition out of the pandemic, the more grateful that I am that our church buildings will wait and open again in the fall. I realize that perhaps it's as important and good for our mental health as it is for our physical well-being. We're modeling healthy transition, allowing space for our beloved church community that did such an amazing job responding and adapting to the pandemic to now pause, take stock, and commit to how we want and will move forward. allowing ourselves the necessary time to grieve the losses that happened over this past year, celebrate the gifts, and commit to carrying forward the learnings and gifts of that time. My friends, give yourself this time. Everything will be okay. Amen. And now it is with great joy that we will recognize and welcome our newest members to the First Religious Society. And then after we've gone through this covenant together, I'm inviting you all to participate. We will watch a video where we meet them and celebrate all the 17 members who've joined during this pandemic time. What a special class you are. The words should be in the order of service. And so I speak first to our newest members this morning. Do you, the newest of our members, promise to bring your whole self to this congregation? This includes sharing your beauty, your gifts and talents, your pains, and the parts of you in need of healing, so that we may grow stronger as a congregation and more whole in our shared humanity.
We do.
Do you bring a commitment to the principles of Unitarian Universalism?
We do.
To love?
We do.
To community?
We do.
And to other members, members of the First Religious Society, do you welcome these new members into our church community, covenanting to walk together with them in your shared spiritual and life journeys?
We do.
Do you promise to be open to what they bring to this beloved community? And will you seek to be in right relationship with them and all who may follow them through our doors?
We will.
To the children and youth, do you welcome these new members to our community?
We do.
Will you share your gifts, love, and light with them? And will you get to know their gifts, love, and light?
We will.
To everyone, members, friends, and visitors, to all who are gathered here today, are you open to the possibilities that love brings?
We are.
Uh-oh. Do I have more words to say?
Well, we welcome all of our new members.
We
hope that you enjoy seeing them along with us.
We certainly do welcome all of our new members, and we love everyone. Enjoy our video.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance.
Welcome, welcome, welcome one and all. Please join now in saying our unison benediction. The words are in your order of service while Justin extinguishes the chalice. May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us now and always. My friends, as we gather each and every Sunday, we say to ourselves, thank God we belong. Thank the life that we live together, the goodness that ensues for what we bring out in each other, what we are called to be and to become for ourselves, for each other, for this world. Take the time this day and every day to notice the beauty inside of yourself and beyond. Have fun, enjoy, love, give thanks, choose forgiveness, and do good in this world. Amen and blessed be.